PowerPoint. I was just going to replay the presidential debate from last night, but I just couldn't do it. Just couldn't do it. That was awesome to watch.
Yes, you did. No, you didn't.
I did watch it. I watched the whole thing. Oh, and my phone's ringing. Cool. Oh, well. Minnesota's calling. Literally, Minnesota's calling. Cool. Alrighty. So, bam. We are going to dive in. So today is Command 101, Command 102, and Command 103. So we get to see the front of Michaela's head from her camera and the back of Michaela's head from Naomi's camera. So it's like Michaela 360. Very cool. Very, very cool. All right. Minnesota, stop calling. That's good. Who do I know in Minnesota? Oh, wait, our regional director. Oops. Mr. Wiley is there. We've got Melissa. So here's we've got a few people that are experts in different areas of command. I'm using the term expert. Yep, you're in. So Michaela, obviously on the transaction side. So if you have questions, please put them in the chat room, or you could be outrageous and actually, unmute yourself and ask them live. But whoa, that'd be weird. Melissa's been playing a lot on the marketing side. We ran a couple of great classes over the last couple of weeks. And should we admit Colin? Sure, let's admit Colin. And then we've got Aman, who is knowledgeable in all of it, who has no idea that he's going to be answering questions, but that's okay. He's there, so. And then we have Mr. Wiley hiding somewhere. I thought you just pulled out a bottle of wine, Michael. All I saw was the black top, and I thought you were drinking straight from a bottle of red. I was like, good on you. It's Wednesday. All right. So let's start. Michaela. So anyway, thank you for everybody who's actively participating and agreed under duress. And we have Gina somewhere too. So Gina's been doing a lot of work on the team side. So any team questions she can probably pop into. All right. So Michaela. Yeah. What are we seeing? I've noticed there's only 284 compliance requests currently in command. You guys have been busy. You've been putting through like a record number of deals. So in conjunction with, I think you've heard the story before, but in conjunction with us rolling this out, utilizing the new system that is command, which is pretty all encompassing, we've been setting records for, several different categories as it pertains to doing transactions. So that means so we're literally setting a record for listings taken, breaking a record for listings taken the next month. So every month we go through. So we're doing this in the middle of the busiest month in the history of the company. So yay, it's like moving, having a baby, and getting a puppy all at the same week. It's good. Yeah. All right.
I do have some stats for you.
Oh, I love stats.
Okay. So month of September, new deals that we entered, there was 326.
Okay.
So far. It's the last day. 205 deals were closed out and paid. Now that's not the amount of agents that have been paid, because we see sometimes 2 to 5 agents per deal. So that's 205. We've made changes to 680 trades so far this month, and we currently have 1,600 open trades in our system.
Wow.
Yeah. We should post that. Now, out of that 1,600, if someone hasn't collapsed their deal, it would be part of that stat. So that's a good reminder that anytime a deal goes dead, we do need a collapse release submitted to us.
Okay, so that's obviously smoking busy. So what if I'm an agent at the office, what can I do to assist and make lives easier on the receiving side?
Okay, so first thing would be definitely formatting your command opportunity properly. I send and receive probably 200 plus emails a day, agents inquiring about their deals, if they've been seen, and a lot of the times the answer is no, but you haven't formatted your opportunity properly, so you're sitting at the bottom of the queue. So the three things that agents need to make sure to do is the title of their opportunity should have their client's last name, first name, and the address should be somewhere within that title as well. And then to add the address into the property box in the details tab of the opportunity. So that property box is on the right-hand side.
Okay.
And when you create the opportunity, it doesn't make you put that in. So once you create the opportunity, you'll have to go back to that tab and add it in. And then the third thing is to add in the completion date to the estimated closing date slot. And that specific formatting will put you in queue. If you do not put the estimated closing date, then you'll sit at the very bottom.
Gotcha. Because we don't know what's priority, right?
Exactly.
Okay. Sweet.
Yeah.
So we do those 3 relatively. And how long does it take to do that? I should know my client's name. I should know my client's address. I have to enter the address twice. I might find that mildly irritating, but that's okay.
20 seconds.
We're talking a few seconds so that we can, and that allows us to do what on our end?
To process the opportunities according to priority based on completion date.
Okay.
Yeah. So right now where we're working like super high volume, higher than we've ever operated, that is so important. If things like, slow down in this transaction, we move through it some more, we could be back at the point where we're touching every single opportunity every single day. And then, that if that date was missing, it would still end up getting touched. But at this point, we're just operating at too high of a volume.
Okay. Yeah. So it's a help us help
you.
Us help you scenario, right? Yeah. Okay. So what are we seeing? What are the top 3 mistakes that our agents are making when submitting? What are the opportunities within opportunities? I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, formatting is huge. So that one, people not submitting TRSs, either because some agents just choose not to do them, and another thing is some agents don't know where to find it. So to find the TRS, it is in templates, in the forms, in DocuSign rooms, and you can also find it in the files in the KW Elite Cafe group on Facebook. So you can take the one from the Facebook group and just use Adobe on your computer if you want, if that's how you're going to do it, or you can fill it in DocuSign.
Okay.
So without a TRS, we will not your transaction.
And that's nothing new. You've always had to submit a TRS.
Yeah.
What if I just don't want to get paid?
I mean, at this point, we can't even take it from the contract, because if that commission gets missed, we don't want that to get missed. So there's a lot of times where agents won't follow up on their things, and we could hit completion date with $0 commission entered. So we won't do it anymore.
That would be a bad thing.
Yeah.
Bad thing.
Another thing is when agents are submitting their offers. So as per council rules, you have to submit your offer at time of acceptance. So as soon as you can. So if your deal was accepted today, then tonight you in your TRS, and it should be in by tomorrow. Your client docs should be done before you're going into your contract.
Okay.
So there's no reason really why things can't be submitted when they're accepted.
Okay.
Within a few days afterwards.
So the bottom line for all this stuff is you need to do as an agent, you need to do your job to the best of your ability, correct? We're not asking anybody to do anything strange. It's just a different format for submission, right? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. That's it. That's it.
It has been pretty much the same except for that formatting. That's the new part. So,
okay.
One other thing is just for agents who are doing listings to make sure to update that estimated closing date from their MLC effective date to the actual completion date of the CPS once they get an accepted offer.
One more time.
One more time? Okay.
Yeah.
When you list your property, you're going to put the effective date on your MLC as the estimated closing date, so that helps the listing coordinators process accordingly to effective date. Once you get an offer on that listing, you change your estimated closing date to the actual completion date of the CPS.
There you go.
And that will put you back in proper queue for the conveyancing side of things.
Okay.
Okay.
And I say the general feedback, once people are starting to have started to play within Command from an opportunity standpoint, it's a pretty simple process, and they're starting to dive into to more of the details and the things that you can play with. So thank you for that. How are we doing with our standards as far as submitting, getting listings up, and deals taken down once they're closed and things like that?
Listings getting live.
Yep.
I can't speak to that, but I think they're within the 24 to 48 hour time frame. So
24 to 48 hours. I'm just going to be a little facetious for a second. So it's not 24 to 48 seconds.
no, and that
So,
is
yeah,
also based
the
on-
expectations need to be set, right? So yeah, our goal is 20, or our standard is 24 to 48 hours to get your listing live. So calling in the office every 4 minutes and saying, hey, where's my listing, when you submitted it that morning, that doesn't help anybody. And those people probably aren't on this call. But just every call, every email to the team is a distraction from actually getting your deal processed. So unless it's urgent, what you can do when you're talking to the other agents in the office, limit the communication back and forth. It's all being worked and we're on track. So that's good. Thank you for that.
So in regards to like a listing, if it was supposed to have an effective date today and you just handed it in right now, chances are it's not getting up today because the 20 other people who submitted their contracts a few days ago are going to go first. So get everything in ahead of time. Don't wait. If you have it ready, put it in.
Yeah. Plan to, if you occasionally you'll have the rush listing, but when you're doing your job properly and when you're looking after your client's best interest, there's more than 4 minutes lead time. I just want to comment on one thing. I don't know if that cow has been above Carol's head the entire time we've been Zooming, or if the cow is new, but I like the cow. The cow is awesome. There you go. All right. Okay, Michaela, move on over. See, cow segue. Mr. Wiley, thank you. Anything else to add, Michaela? And you can jump back in.
Yeah, we sent all the main points about Command on July 30th. So agents email me and I just attach that document again, and it has everything in it. So if you feel like you need to email me, check that document first. I'm sure the answer will be on there.
All right, okay. Fantastic, thank you. So yeah, we have provided like literally every resource you could possibly want to figure out how to do this. And I've had some people who are definitely not tech savvy folks phone me up and go, wow, I just followed the steps and it was pretty easy. So highly recommend you do that first. Mr. Wiley with 2 L's. How are you, sir?
I'm good.
Excellent. I'm good. So Craig, you've been assisting us by assisting our agents. There you go. There's a lot of assisting going on to get them up and running, get their contacts loaded. How's the process going so far?
Well, I've done walkthroughs with several people on the opportunities aspect of this because that was the biggest concern. A lot of people are running into issues with trying to import from .loop, which apparently does not seem to work anymore. It used to work right up until the switch over time. Right now, it looks like from the last 3 people that I've helped, they had to manually do it. So I think something in the linking system is broken between .loop and Command.
Okay.
That's most of the phone calls are about that. There's a few phone calls about DocuSign, a couple problems with linking that as well. But for the most part, once I show people how to walk through an opportunity, it's not difficult. It's just learning the standards so Michaela gets the stuff and it's organized and she can make a decision quickly rather than wondering where it is or how you find it. So the biggest thing I've seen is, again, the standards of the opportunity names and the addresses, things like that.
Okay, so if I'm a non-techie agent and I'm being introduced to Command for the first time, and I'm doing the sky is falling thing, what are the top 3 things I should do to, number 1, breathe? So what's number 2?
Number 2 is put some contacts in. I always start everything from a contact because once you start from a contact, it's already attached. So you've already done one of the steps right away by starting from the opportunity. And then it's just essentially get the basic information for that for that contact in. Then you can start to search using the contact, and it just makes the opportunity side a little easier. Then really it depends what you want to use it for. If you're using it for a CRM, then definitely want to get all your stuff in there and have a look at it, see what's going on, see if you want to use the CRM for tracking your conversations. Or the one thing I like about it is it's specific to real estate. So there's lots of fields where you can store information like Facebook page, all the URLs for LinkedIn, you can put tags in. So it is quite flexible in terms of the data there. And if you set it up properly, you can sync it with Google. So if that's something that you like, then I personally have a Google phone. So it syncs with my phone. Once they're in Keller Command, they're on my phone. So I can call them and do whatever I need to do. So
Nice.
basically, just get your contacts in.
Yeah, the syncing of contacts is actually pretty cool. We've been playing, Melissa and I have been playing with some lead generation ads through a Facebook ad promoter. And when somebody, sends the contact information in response to an ad, it automatically populates as a contact in Command, which is pretty awesome. So anyway, cool. Gail Beck is asking, how do I make the syncing with Google happen?
PieSync. Through PieSync and Keller Williams, we have a free connection. We have one free connection. So all you have to do is activate it in the settings and have it connect there. It was pretty straightforward. You just link PieSync, and then again, without going over into it, and here I can walk anybody through it. It's very simple. Once you set it up, you get a free account, and it'll start to sync with your Google.
You bet. So yeah, PieSync is that connective tissue between all the programs within Command. So it's just a linking device, which is nice and simple, easy to use because it's automatic. So for our average setup for when you reach out to one of our agents and say, hey, I want to help you get Command set up, how long does that take?
It usually takes about a half an hour. It really depends on where that person is. If it's, oh my God, I got to get a deal in, it can take 15 minutes once I show them how to do it. I usually say, let's get you the deal in, and let me show you a little bit more about how the tasks work and how that kind of stuff works. Because if you're halfway there, you might as well know everything. So yeah, I would say between a half an hour and 45 minutes, depending on how many questions I get asked.
Nice. And Craig is available to anybody who wants more assistance or more of a deep dive, as is. So so parting words of wisdom. You're not allowed to leave, but parting words of wisdom.
I would say just play around a little bit. It's really not a complex system. It's simply a place to put your documents so that the conveyance team can read them. If you don't want to use the tasks and all the other bells and whistles, the opportunities section's easy.
I'd say with Command, once you start, we're starting with the transaction side, and I'm actually very excited that we're kind of force feeding the Command program from the transaction side because it allows you to play with some of the other aspects of Command. Over Mega Camp last week, we made some massive changes to the team side, the team application. How's that for a segue, Gina? Unmute. All the way from the other side of the office, Gina. So you've been playing a lot with the teams aspect for several months now, right? So if I'm running a team or I'm looking at creating custom tags or things like that, what are some of your findings or experiences? Still can't hear you. Look at that. And this is so easy to use that Gail is now syncing her Google. It's like just based on those 4 seconds of wisdom from Craig. There you go. Go. Nice. Wow, there's a lot of cheering going on. Gina, just mouth it. We'll figure it out. All right, back to Gina. Can you draw up some signboards or something? like the Emmys? I don't know. There. Oh, I heard sound.
Okay.
What about now? Can you hear?
There you go. Yay! It's like the
My technical director.
Fantastic.
I don't really pay him a lot, so I get what I get. So
I bought the mic from the guy on the side of the road. He said it was fantastic. It fell off a top end truck. What are you gonna do? All right. So team.
Your question regarding teams, I'm going to be brutally honest. Like I haven't really since Mega Camp haven't really been in there in terms of like the new things that were launched as a result of Mega Camp. What I can say, or what I do know for sure is I know what they were struggling with was the linking of all members of the team to see what was happening. For example, if there was a plan or there was tasks, how that was all being linked to the teams. And my understanding from my little watching on our Facebook groups is that a lot of that has, all those little kinks and things have been worked through, and now it's more user-friendly in relation to teams. Yeah, I don't know. Is there something specific you were looking for? I don't know.
So you spent some time investing in custom tags, and any sage advice there? I'm big on the sage advice. I'm going to pick on the other herbs later. Maybe some marjoram advice, some basil
rosemary.
advice.
Tagging. Well, here's my thing about tags, and I would just say this regardless of anything, is whatever you do, keep it simple. I do know that if you are using, if you're going to use command in terms of the teams, one of the suggestions that has been made repeatedly is that each member has a tag that's attached to all contacts and attached to all opportunities. That's a really big thing in relation to the movement of those people in and out of the system should teams change dynamics. In my little soapbox, I would say always keep tags as simple as possible. Don't get fancy schmancy. Things tend to get lost and not repeated consistently. So but I would just say that about any system. I don't know. Yeah, color coding, love it.
Color coding.
Color code.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I haven't seen. All I know is that from what from Mega Camp was a lot of the issues that people were having in reference to the team stuff and being transparent amongst all members of the team. A lot of that has been sort of smoothed out a little bit. Because I do know that if you were a single agent, command was working amazingly in terms of being able to do your opportunities and your contacts and keeping everything organized. Where it was starting to fall apart was in relation to the team structure, which is what they're saying has sort of smoothed out a little bit. So
yeah, a lot of the assigning of leads and who owns a contact,
and
making sure that the admin because as you know, the executive administrators rule the world on teams, right?
Yeah,
with an
well,
iron.
that's the biggest issue. Like, I know that was a massive complaint when they were looking at the team structure, was that all of them were based off of the mega agent. Everything trickled down from the mega agent, and anybody who's on a team as an administrator basically knows if you're the administrator, it's actually you that has to have kind of the biggest amount of control for what gets put in and how it gets put in. So I know that was a huge complaint that they were looking at. How do you basically make your administrator kind of the central piece in the team versus it being the mega agent? So
right.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, they've corrected a lot of things. So, and again, the resource library online for command is amazing. So when you hit that add tutorial, just every day that we log on, something is new, something is exciting, something has changed, something has been tweaked. I'm on a labs call for leadership right after this, and they sent a list of like, what would the priority be? So the things that are coming down for the next 6 months, I'm now equating this to Disneyland. It'll never be finished. It'll just be, or it'll keep getting better and better and better, right? As we've seen with designs, what used to be sketchbook and things like that. So thank you. Right. Awesome. Aaron, thanks. Good talk.
My pleasure. Anytime.
Just sitting there looking pretty. Just looking
Moral
pretty.
support. Moral support.
Awesome. Appreciate it. All right, Melissa.
Just happy to be here, Owen.
So pretty.
Nice. Melissa and Aman are tech people. Aman, go Canucks, go. They lost. You know that, right? Chiefs won, though. Go Chiefs. 3-0. Just saying. So, Melissa, we've been playing with campaigns. We've been playing with smart plans. What do you think?
Yeah.
Question. What do you think? The most terrifying question ever. What do you think?
Yeah.
You're locked up. You're frozen, literally in Terry's office because it's really cold there.
Am I still frozen?
No, you're good now.
Oh, okay. What was your question? I couldn't hear you.
Sorry, just general insight on smart plans, what we're finding, smart plans and campaigns.
Yeah.
So the marketing aspect of the name.
Yeah, I've been running some campaigns, so doing some ads on Facebook and Instagram, just testing out the waters, trying different things, playing around. I think my last campaign, I got 17 leads. So yeah, just slowly making progress with that. And then I've been testing out the smart plans as well, sending text messages, emails. Definitely with the smart plans, I would recommend test before you add a bunch of people to them, just so you know that everything's working properly and sending correctly before you do a bulk send out on those.
Right. Don't practice on live people first. Good idea. So the smart plans that we've been setting up, and we ran a campaigns class. Was that yesterday, day before? How long does it take to set up a campaign?
It takes about 5 minutes, 10 minutes, just depending on how comfortable you are. And yeah, it's once you do it once or twice, it's very copy paste like. It's pretty basic. So yeah, anyone can do it for sure.
All right. And smart plans, same thing. Setting up your smart plans. There's a lot of, the library is continually expanding. So there's neighborhood snapshot, there's 8x8, there's the 36 Dutch. So there's a lot of programs that are already in the library, and setting up our own takes, we drafted one the other day and it took what, 3 minutes maybe. The toughest part coming up with the creative copy. So if you're not creative, steal it from somebody else.
Yeah.
Right? Cool. Awesome.
Yep.
Any other things you've seen that are really cool and innovative that you want to share?
I think that's it. Smart plans. Now you can see everybody's smart plans. So there's a library that people can import their own. So you can go in and take somebody else's. That's really awesome. Saves a lot of people time. And yeah, that's about it.
Okay, cool. Aman, what are you hearing? What's the word? What's the word from the national tech directors?
So they hoping to get some input on terms of what's like the top 3 items we want to see improved or worked on or tweaked. So if anyone has any input or something that they want to, suggest, definitely do that. Just like Melissa said, I would definitely suggest with the email campaigns and smart plans, test it on yourself first before you're sending it out, because there are, things that pop up with glitches here and there. So do that before you kind of send it out to your database. Yeah, I mean, they're hoping to get Connect shifted over to Command at some point in the near future. So might see some changes there coming up. Yeah, it's sort of the updates that we have at this point.
There you go. There's a lot of back-end systems manipulation and upgrades that are going on to make sure that everything's working seamlessly, which is fantastic. Ken and Jane are actually asking if they can meet with Melissa. No. Yes, you can. She's an awesome person. So yeah, both Craig and Melissa are available as a resource to all y'all. So Melissa, and the cool thing is, Melissa, your experience with Command before you started was, well, you didn't know it existed. So we're all learning this together, which is pretty cool. So it's not like big corporate training day where we come in and teach you the 3 things we know. We're figuring this out together. And literally every time we log in, it's like, oh, this is new. This is cool. This is different. This works now. This is gone. Sometimes it's gone, but it makes it pretty entertaining. I like it. I like it a lot. I'm becoming a Command fan, like a Chiefs fan, only technical. All right. That's all. Any other questions on Command before we jump into the wonderful world of managing brokers? And go. Michael and Carol and the cow. I love the cow. Where'd you get the cow, Carol? The cow's amazing. I feel like I'm in Earl's. Wow.
Long time
Has that been there the whole time?
I can't remember. It's old. Yeah, and when my kids were little, this is how old it is. They tried to ride it. They didn't break it though.
Okay. I probably would have done the same thing. I'd probably do the same thing today. All right. Michael, what you got for us?
Just wanted to bring up a couple of new forums. I don't know if anyone was aware. Co-listing forums. We always had a sort of a mini co-list form if you were listing with another agent, but now they've got 2 forums on web forums. One where both agents, the primary agent and the secondary agent, are representing the seller, or if there's 2 sellers, they're both representing both sellers. But I think the most important form that they've added recently is co-listing form with separate representation. So for example, when you've got a divorce or separation, one agent can work for one party and the other agent can work for the other. We used to have a 1-page form at one time for all scenarios, and now it's a 3-page form plus an addendum page as well. So it's about time it does that. I mean, they've got scenarios on this form where they talk about seller's A's brokerage, and then they've got a seller's B's brokerage. They talk about listing price and terms on that agreement. They talk about the commission just like they would on a listing contract. The amount going to the cooperating brokerage. If there's no cooperating brokerage, what the commission would be. And then there is, for the purpose of the co-list, if there's a cooperating brokerage, the seller and the brokerages agree that the remuneration paid by the sellers will be paid as following. So we have an amount for seller's A's brokerage and amount for seller B's brokerage. So it's really nice that they've actually taken the time to kind of draw it out. In that regard. One second here. Just want to figure out where it was here.
I love that you get excited about new forms and terrified.
Well, anything that can help us. I mean, a lot of times what we did before, like when we used to write an offer on a mobile, I don't know what years an actual manufactured home contract came into play. We used to use a standard contract of purchase and sale, which really was not applicable to manufactured homes. It talked about land, it talked about a lot of things, and so we just made the best of it and tailored it to fit, but a lot of the language that was in that contract was not applicable to a manufactured home. So that's why I find it's nice that they're actually giving us some tools that actually help make our job easier. Some of the things in relation to co-listing forms with separate representation. The cooperation means both designated agents will promptly share all material information regarding the property, listing, marketing, and ultimately the sale of the property with each other. I'm sure the husband and wife that are separating probably don't feel that way, but that's what needs to happen to facilitate their needs. We have to remember too, what our fiduciary duty is when it comes to the clients that we're representing, and what information we can share and what we can't share.
Yep. Carla has a lengthy question, and I'm sure she just wants to test to see if I know how to read. So
Sorry.
No, it says in the new update that went out from the board, and in brackets says, I did not read this, an agent called me on this. It was mentioned that the signed, sealed, and delivered date on the MLC is now to be signed by the broker instead of the sellers on the day that the broker signs and approves the contract. Is this correct, or is this the sellers, or is the seller still to sign the final page the day the sign of the contract? I just read the way that said. The day they sign the contract.
Are you referring
I was like,
to a multiple listing contract or a contract of purchase and sale? You're talking about.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you, Michael. What was that?
I said you're talking about the multiple listing contract, right?
Yeah, the multiple listing contract. They said there was an update that went out stating that the rules have now changed. That typically you would put the effective date on the contract and the final page the seller would sign, right? Then they submit the listing, we broker it and process it. What the agent is telling me is that in this update, it is saying now the final page of the multiple listing contract is to be signed and dated by the broker the day the broker looks at the contract, and the seller would no longer be signing in that spot. Like signing and dating. I can ask this agent to send me maybe this document so that I can see what that looks like. But we would need to know if there's a change because we would be the contract.
I'm going to say that sounds incorrect.
Okay.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it didn't to me either. So I just thought I'd check with you guys since we had it updated today, and then I will get some more clarification on that.
When we go to forums, I mean, I'll look up a.
Dead man. No,
Give me a
we'll
second.
get back to that one.
I'm actually emailing them right now. I'll see if I can. I'll see what I can dig up here.
Cool. We'll just sit and listen to people type. It's always exciting. Good.
Yeah, you can hear that. Yeah.
Anything else going on out there, Michael, that we need to be aware of?
No, it's been a pretty quiet week call-wise. Probably I was on calls last week. It was fairly quiet, and I've had a few here and there along the way, but fairly quiet in that regard. Gee, I'm just pulling up the multiple listing contract right now. I'm going to say that the last page, when it comes down to the very bottom, yes, there's a spot for there is a spot per managing broker's signature. But you've got the two on the left, seller signature, and it says signed, sealed, and delivered this date. So that's got to be for the seller, not for the office.
Right. Okay. So yeah, the sellers would still sign, but are they putting that date there, or are we now supposed to be adding the date in?
I'm going to say that the sellers are signing this document, and they're signing it the date they sign it, not the date that we're receiving it. It's no different than a contract of purchase and sale.
Yeah, that makes the most sense. It was a bit of a confusing question, so I'll give them a shout and talk it out with them. It's totally fine.
Yeah. Ken and Jane are just saying that there was something from BCREA that said something what Carla put in the question, and it was very confusing. So some clarification for our agents would be a great idea. Cool.
Awesome. I'm on the job.
Woo! Get on her. And it's weird hearing Carla talk through the wall before her voice actually moves on the screen.
Is it on delay?
Tape delay. Just a millisecond. It's pretty fun.
Oh.
Right. Cool. Just before we jump off, just want to do some quick recognition. So the Canada-wide and KW stats came out, and we did some stuff. So KW Elite was number 4 in the country for closed units, number 2 for closed gross commission, number 2 for closed volume. That's in Canada. And for closed volume, we're number 7 in all of Keller Williams International. So yay us. Individually, Kelly Fry, number 4 for commercial agents in all of KW Canada. Melissa Alcade was number 6. Rob Breckel, number 10 for individual agents, top GCI. Julie Ramirez rocking it at number 20. In teams, the Huber team was number 8. Nikki and Brian were number 12. For groups of 3 or more, Partners Marketing Group is number 2. It irritates Trevor when you tell him he's number 2. Just saying. He likes being number 1. And Garvin Duma, number 20, and the Kelly Fry team, number 25. And then on the teams for producers of units, Nikki and Brian were number 9. The Hubers were number 20. Partners Marketing Group, number 2. Kelly Fry team, number 13. So yeah, some people in the top 25, which is awesome. So when you see them, give them a Laurel and Hardy handshake. That's a Blazing Saddles reference, though. Just saying. Anyway, cool. All right. Parting thoughts. Jane says, "Yay!" on behalf of G&D. And yeah, anything else? Going once? Any needs? Any wants? Cool. Next month, these meetings are moving to Thursdays. Prime time's changing. We're moving to Thursdays because I'm being punished and I have to be in a course for 4 hours every Wednesday morning. No, I have an opportunity to learn stuff. It's going to be great. And I'll share it with you. It's going to be fantastic. Vital Signs School. Awesome. Good times. All right. Thank you, folks. Stay safe. Have fun. And please send memes of the presidential election because you know they got to be out there. All right. Cheers. Make good decisions.